one thing I just wanted to like rewind for a sec that you were saying is just the idea that like, 'cause I think we have very similar goals with like helping women appreciate, understand motherhood more because like motherhood is a blessing in so many ways, and we can get so weighed down by all of the tasks that are like associated that people think of as motherhood that it like you think that you actually don't like it when you're really just you don't like the task. Like I've heard people say, maybe you've heard people say this, like, oh, I love my kids, I just don't love being a mom. And that's where I want to help people see, like, no, if you love your kids, you love being a mom. Like, there's nothing else to it. Like, that is all being a mom is. Like, you don't have to love changing all the diapers and waking up a million times a night, and you don't have to do all those things, because those things aren't what's making you a mom. It's the relationship that's making you a mom. So if nothing else, just like focus on that relationship. And then the other things, like you're probably choosing to do those things for the sake of the relationship. You don't have to do those things. You could hire it out. You could be a good mom. Exactly. Like you could theoretically hire a night nanny to get up with your kids every single time. You probably aren't going to do that forever because of because of other factors, but you would still be their mom even if you weren't doing every single one of those things.
Task. Exactly. So what made you want to be a mom?
Well, I mean, honestly, I never considered not being a mom. But so part of my story, so I was raised in a conservative religious member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And there are 6 kids in my family. I always knew that being a mom, having a family would be part of what you were going to do. It was just, that was never really a question. And my husband and I, we'd been married for about a year and a half. And all of a sudden, I found myself pregnant. And it wasn't like this moment of, where we'd been like planning. We were going to start our family now. We always knew we would have a family at some point, but we didn't know when that would happen. And then I was pregnant. And I had a lot of emotion come up when I found out I was pregnant. And a lot of it was positive. It was mostly sadness. It was mostly anger. It was frustration. It was like, okay, like, yeah, I always knew I wanted to have kids, but not right now. I very much felt that makes sense. Like once we started our family, my life was pretty much over, and I was just living for my children at that point. And I knew that was like a sacrifice I was going to have to make, quote unquote.
But you were just not sure when.
Yeah, but I wasn't ready for it yet. Like I wasn't done living my life. Is kind of how I felt.
That makes sense.
So when that pregnancy, like that whole pregnancy, I was really kind of figuring out my thoughts around this and like, why is this so, I wasn't expecting for it to be as traumatic is an extreme word, but like I wasn't expecting it to be as gut-wrenching, I guess. Like shocking, all those things as it was. And my whole pregnancy, because I already came from a place of negativity, a place of fear around motherhood, everything that I was hearing just completely fed into that dialogue that I already had. And everything I saw, not everything I saw on social media, but most of what I saw on social media was negative. Most of what I heard from people were just telling me, motherhood is hard. Motherhood is hard. Has anybody really told you how hard motherhood's going to be? And
do you really know what you're getting yourself into?
Yes. And say goodbye to your sleep, and date nights are done.
And to yourself,
no
and your
more
relationships
travel
with any friends or anything.
All those things. Like your marriage is going to be totally different now. Like everything is different in a negative way. And so I was like, why do people even have kids at all? Like, I legitimately did not understand, because the people that were telling me this had multiple children.
You're like, then why did you do it?
Yeah, like, why did you even have kids at all? And why are you continuing to have kids if it's really this miserable,
Exactly.